Welcome back, guys. So had a whole video prepared for this. We've spent pretty much a week, 3 or 4 days building out this is your Mototec Mavrick. It's got a top roll cage we took off, but this is 100 watts 36 volt electric go-kart we picked up off Facebook find. It wasn't running. Did a whole conversion. We were going to try to keep it electric if possible, but it wasn't. So what we ended up doing was we have our little two of 6cc, basically Predator clone. It's a Simpson, but took it off of a pressure washer, and what we ended up doing was a full complete gas conversion. The first one, from what I can tell on YouTube, had a whole basically walkthrough to discuss how we did it, converted it. It was super easy. So you got your speed controller that goes here. Obviously it runs the electric engine, or the electric motor. Has your battery, forward, reverse. It's a super cool card if it worked, but it didn't. So what we did was we took off the engine, or took off the motor. This is the original motor plate, and we created, welded up a bracket motor mount for the gas engine. So we got that in there. It's a 3/4 axle. So the original motor was right side drive and the brake was on the left. So all we had to do was take the 4 bolts out, swap the brake and the sprocket, the rear sprocket, and then move the brake over here and weld it in. Worked super good. That was just the best way. You'd have to pull the axle, didn't have to do any of that. So we converted over. Obviously I haven't cleaned anything up. We gotta clean it up, get it painted, but it worked really good. It worked super well. We're gonna do a flat stick of metal across here. I just did that so we can test run it. The biggest problem, what I found, is the original sprocket was like a 32 tooth sprocket. Same bolt pattern as the mini bike, which worked out great because this is the sprocket that was on the mini bike. Same thread pitch, it's like 42 chain, so, or 420 chain. So we switched those out. When we had it, it was geared way too low, so it didn't even want to pull us. Granted, you know, we're 180-pound grown men, but we switched the sprocket, put the bigger one on here, the smaller one on the mini bike. With that engine, the 110cc, it took that mini bike, and it still has great pull, so it's not struggling, but took it from a top speed of 32 miles per hour. And now the mini bike itself, it'll hit about 43, I believe is the new top speed. With this gearing, it pulls just fine. It'll do 37 miles an hour recorded with the speedometer app that we use. So it's pretty quick. For what it is, it's definitely quick. It gets a little hairy. My biggest problem is, if you look, it rolls great, but it's got the same size front tires. So when you go even any sort of angle on this thing, it will, I mean, it really wants to stop it. It binds pretty bad. It's got the live axle. So I think the remedy for that is going to be put some new tires on it, a little bit smaller diameter, 6-inch tires on it, and hopefully that'll help with the binding. The other problem we ran into, if you're converting these, is the electric motor had an electric throttle, as they do, so that's how you control the speed for the engine. Well, we had to basically create our own. I welded up some piping. We had a go-kart pedal. So it's like your traditional throttle, and it works good. Second problem was the cable for the actual brake was too short, so we don't have a pedal brake. Right now we're just running the emergency brake, and you can just throttle it. It works great. Locks it down. The brakes on this thing are actually really good. So it's a little weird at first. You're used to pressing the pedal. As soon as we pick up another throttle cable, we'll put the brake on, and it'll have the foot brake. It's not a hard conversion if you could pick these up cheap. I don't know why the engine, we kept all the throttle controller and the motor and all of that. We did keep all of that, so for another project we want to look into it. It would be cool if it was electric. From my research, it was like a 3, you know, it had 2 or 3 speeds. So at max, this thing only did like 15-mile-an-hour electric, so you know, we almost tripled that. Not sure if we're going to keep this one. We've got some surprises coming up. We got some more projects. Probably end up putting the roll cage back on, clean it up, put the strap across it, paint it, probably sell it so we can continue on to the next project. We've got the live axle ordered and all of this. We're going to put a thinking about, I don't know, we talked about a shifter engine or a ghost engine. This thing's gonna be built. We want this thing to be quick. This is gonna fit a grown man, you know, us a lot better. It's gonna be a super fun project. I can't wait to get get that in. This is the mini bike. I've got her dialed in. It starts up, no choke. Got that little sprocket. I mean, this thing rips. It really is. I'm gonna do a video. You probably see at the end of this video of a drive or a test drive with these things, but I love that thing. Now, the new projects, we pick these bad boys up. This is your Coleman, Realtree RT200. I mean, this thing's got a big old beefy frame. But as you see it, these are just the tires mocked up on it from the back of the go-kart. These get some fat daddy. You can put some fat tires on this thing. So I think it needs work. What we're gonna end up doing is probably separating and putting this online and selling it, getting some of our money back on it, because we picked this up with this. Now this is gonna be the next build. This thing is gonna be awesome. So this is a chopper, stretched out. When the person we bought it obviously stretched it out like 12 inches, which is fine. It's got a great seating position. We're gonna do a nice, pick up sportster tank, motorcycle tank, probably put a big old engine on it, 212, 224. They got some sort of jack shaft, bearing in there. So we'll see how this goes. I really like this. It looks ugly now, but I see the potential. It's got your actual, it's got some nice .3 brake fluid and some brakes in it. It's probably just a little 2-piston, but it's gonna be sweet. Brakes, everything's here. It's a roller, so it's definitely ready for clean up all these welds. They got the motor mount, so it is set up for like a 212. And that's what I probably want to run on it. Put something cool, nice exhaust on this thing. But I'm gonna put some time in it. I want to strip this thing down, clean up all the welds, paint it nice, do a tank, do an engine, really go through this thing. Sitting on flat tires. At one point, this thing's got like 200 miles. So, I mean, it's got turn signals and all of that. So if I can get a little moped tag on it, obviously it's going to be more than a 50cc, but if I can get a moped tag, I definitely rock this thing on the road. I honestly would like to change the rake, which is your fork. It's raked way out. I think it would be awesome if we could change the neck tube and kind of get it up a little bit. It's just low and it's long, which is fine. I mean, it is cool, but it would be awesome just to make some changes like that. I think it would ride better. It looks a little goofy long. I was thinking about taking the 12-inch spacers out. Might not take that much, maybe take 6 inches. We'll see how this one comes along, but that's gonna be the next project. So if you would like, subscribe and hit those notifications to follow these projects. We've got quite a few going on. Not 100% sure about that one. We are going to start disassembling this one and get it painted now that it's dialed in. Shifter cart, we got this one. Waiting on parts, like I said. We want to get this one painted. We're going to keep this shifter cart, all of that. This thing is a beast. I really like it's all one piece. So not like the orange one where you can take the top cage off. This is all one. This is a heck of a cart. And it's set up, I mean, the 212 bolts right on, 224 bolts right on. We were considering trying to find like a 500, like a GS 500 or something cool in there, be able to shift gears on it, have them big fat tires on it. So we got to get the axle in. We got some bent tie rods and some stuff to do to that. So that's going to be next in the works. I do apologize. It's been a week or two since we put a video out. I had a ton of footage and unfortunately it was all corrupt. I'm trying to see if I can recover it. If I can't, please feel free to ask in the comments. If you pick one of these up and you have a question on how we converted it or what have you, it's super simple. I mean, it'd be an awesome little project. If you pick this, I think we pay, I don't even remember. I think we paid $50 for the whole cart and that's why we picked it up. So we had the engine. I mean, only thing we have in this is just the clutch, which is a sweet deal. I mean, the brakes, everything on it. If I were to just steal the brakes for the mini bike, I mean, there's some really cool stuff on here. But we built it out and it's awesome. So as always, guys, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, stay tuned for our next projects. We've got quite a few in the works. And then once the riding season gets back, we've got some motorcycle events and rides planned as well. So there's always something going on over at Angry Mule Garage, and always have a good one. Tires suck. We hit 42 on this thing, which is nuts. Definitely a little ripper.